For our third and also last session for today, we bring you, what I think is that I think I speak for all of us here today that our Malaysian girls has not been celebrated enough. Correct? Do you feel so? We have not celebrated them enough. We hear their names, but we have not praised enough. Do you feel it? Yeah, a lot of you can relate, yeah? So today we have 4 heroes, so should I say heroine, right? Heroine who have made the nation proud and deserve to be celebrated again and again. And I think, no right amount of praise that we should give to them because they've done a lot for the country and for the nation. Please give me a round of applause. Let's welcome Yohanis Adnan, Leong Mangi, Sharon V, and also Siva Sangari. So for today, we have Leong Mangi with us on Zoom call. If we can check her out. Please have a seat. Hi, Yohanis. All right. You guys have microphone, each and every one of you? All right. Can I have mic here, please? Thanks. All right. Please make yourself comfortable. How are you guys feeling? Okay? All right. All right. Before we start, this session is very much similar to what we have before, in which every panelist will be given 20 minutes to speak on their own experience, stories, because these are, big athletes who made their name of their own. They have a lot of stories to share, and we also have a lot of things that we want to learn more about them, right? But before that, can I really check with Manji if is with us today? Hi, Manji. If you can hear me. All right, while waiting, no problem. I will just introduce you guys with our panelists that we have here today. First of all, we have Yohanis Adnan, and side there, okay. Yohanis Adnan is a lecturer at Center of Sports and Exercise Center for Sports and Exercise Science, University of Malaya. She is my lecturer lah. I've graduated from UM as well. Her area of expertise are rehabilitation psychology, adapt physical activity and sports, applied sports psychology, exercise and health psychology. She is currently appointed as a board member for the Asian Society for Adapt Physical Education and Exercise from 2018 to 2020. We will hear more from her. How are you feeling, Yohanis? Are you ready to go?
Yep.
Yep, all right. And I will introduce the speaker right after Yohanis because I think it's better to introduce them and just get them to tell their story so that you can relate better. All right, over to you, Yohanis, for 20 minutes.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Fanny. Hi again, everyone. I hope I can keep you all stay awake. I was wondering, the slide is...
Do you have the pointer? Oh, okay. Can you try? All right.
It's not up yet.
Can we have someone from technical team?
Okay. All right. Okay. An entrance. Okay. Bear with me. This it says a freestyle. We can talk about anything. So
feel free.
Yeah. Okay.
Stage is yours.
Yeah. Stage is mine. So bear with me again. Where do I point the pointer?
Yeah, you should just point it to that center camera.
So I'm just going to talk a little bit about me, about 5 minutes. Yeah, there's a lot to share about. I've lived for more than half a century. Okay, and I have 2 parts in my life. The first part was when I was okay, and the second part when I got a spinal cord injury. Okay. So ever since I was a little girl, well, I don't know how I ended up to be like this. Women come in different shapes and sizes. Okay, when I was very, very active. I started playing sports when I was small. At 5 years old, I followed my dad for badminton and all that. And at the age of 12, I represented Kedah, State Kedah, in netball. And I just played netball and a lot of other games as well. That's the first chapter, and then in 1988, I represented Malaysia for the Junior World Team Cup in Canberra in netball. And at the same time, same year, I was in UPM doing my undergrads. I've seen a lot of, it's like a mini reunion here. I've seen a lot of UPM students in physical education here. So yeah, I got my entrance in UPM for my undergrad, and then coming to second year, then I got my spinal cord injury due to infection. I had a boil somewhere here, I don't know if you can see that. And what it does, it get infected and it lodged at the spinal cord and it compressed the nerve. So I was at the peak of my life, my time at that time, yeah. So yes, I took 2 years of medical leave, and that's when my second chapter began in my life, where I continued with my study and did my postgraduate study overseas. And come to think of it, my second chapter is more interesting than my first chapter. I get to travel more, being on a wheelchair. There's a lot of, you need to adapt a lot of things. But I think being the athlete in you, that don't give up and keep fighting, takes everything as a challenge instead of, you avoid challenges, you embrace it. And I think your life it just gets better after that. So that's where I live in, I studied in Otago University. I lived there for about slightly more than 2 years. Came back and attached to University of Malaya, ever since, until now. And during this second chapter, I get into adapted sports. team, we introduced wheelchair fencing to be introduced in Malaysian Paralympic. So we did everything from the scratch, yeah. And then I played wheelchair tennis. Again, we started wheelchair tennis in 1995 with a group motivation from UK. So now we have wheelchair tennis Malaysia. And I actually played for Malaysia again in wheelchair tennis for the Asian Games. Back then it was called Pacific Games in 1999. We got bronze. And then I represented Malaysia again in World Team Cup in Paris in 2001. I'm just rediscovering life, on a different perspective, and there's so many sports there that I want to get my hands on. So yeah, I started playing a lot, even swimming, wheelchair basketball. It's in you. You can't run away from it. No, you just want to get your hands and your wheel dirty and just want to sweat it out. So that's the second chapter of my life. I also live in Melbourne for about slightly more than 4 years because I was doing my PhD, which I'm yet to complete soon. So yeah, I live on my own. I don't have anyone tagging me. I live on my own, being on a wheelchair. In New Zealand, it's good because everything is accessible, but in Melbourne, Australia, my accommodation is not really accessible. So I developed, few injuries and all that, just trying to adapt. So that's, maybe we'll talk later. I promise Fanny it's only for 5 minutes. Correct, next.
You can press the, yeah.
Okay. So what, my inspiration is that, like I said, when I was small, has always been very, very active. You just couldn't stop me from playing games or sports or anything, just to get physical, yeah? And, the aspiration that what I'm trying to do now is inspired by what's happening in my life. So the inspiration is there. Okay, so from being an elite high-performance athlete, yeah, I consider myself elite and high-performance athletes, and coming to become also elite high-performance disabled athletes. I realized that you benefit so much from being physically active. You know, you have mind, a sound body and soul. You know, I mean, like cergas itu cerdas or whatever they call it. You know, this mind and body thing. So I realized that being active or when you participated in sports and physical activity, you get that good vibes in you. You have that positivity in you. And the thing is that it is for the general population, but at the same time, people with disabilities, they need this more. Yeah? Because when they participated in physical activity or in sports, actually they give them the independence. It gives them a sense of control in the life and all that. And there's a lot of other psychological effect. But this group, people with disabilities, are often being not denied, but they don't have that much opportunity to actually participate or get them involved or have an active lifestyle. So we as a community, we make them disabled to actually participate, to have that active participation in life. So because I said I lived abroad and I've seen, okay, they have so many adaptive sports and all that, but not here. Okay, we're working on it, but it's still a bit slow. So that's how I have actually shifted my approach of instead of focusing on elite performance and all that, I'm thinking about how do I provide the opportunity for the grassroots level, for the mass population of people with disabilities. So, and there's a lot of barriers. There's a lot of barriers if you look at it. Whatever barriers that women face in participating in sports is also faced by people with disabilities, except that they have additional, such as accessibilities, transportation, facilities, and all that. So that's why we hardly see a lot of people with disabilities actually be out there in the community to actively participate. For me, I don't care. I've actually entered the what do you call this? Half marathon, Nike we run twice. I don't have a road racer. You know, I just used this year. And wheel for 21 kilometer, 21.2 kilometer. Yeah, wow. And I did it for not a good timing though. It's slightly more than 2 hours, but yeah, I did that. Like I say, I don't care. You know, but some might not be as independent as you. Some may not be brave enough, or again, stigmatization, what people think and all that. So I just don't care. Just like that's an opportunity for me to just, you know, wheel in the middle of the road, you know, without anybody honking or thinking you're crazy. So I just grab it, just to get active. But these are the main thing right now. I think we should focus and work on it. Getting people with disabilities to be active. First, we focus on that, and then later we focus on the women, right? But I think this group really could really benefit from the psychological and physiological benefit, right? And well, okay, next, okay. Oops. Okay, so like I said, the aspiration comes from inspiration. And lately we had, because I'm from University of Malaya Center for Sports Exercise Science, and we also have a disability research unit there. And we try to encourage more people with disabilities, yeah, not athletes, to actually participate in physical activity. So just to show you some of it, like we had the wheelchair tennis. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to make it inclusive. We're trying to make it inclusive, meaning it's not just for people with disabilities. It can be played by both. You know, so what I did for my project was that I tried to include wheelchair tennis as part of the Sukmum.
Sukmum, Sukan University Malaya.
Yes, yes. So, meaning able-bodied, able-bodied student can play with, can pair up with disabled student to play the game.
I wish I'm still a student.
Yes.
Okay,
Come
I
back.
go and take my
First grade. Yep. So we did that. We worked with Wheelchair Tennis Malaysia, and those are my students. Some of them, and those two. I don't know whether just pointer here. Nope, this doesn't work. Okay. Yeah, they are national players. All these are world rank national players, and then at the bottom there. Yeah, is basically what we did. We did advertising and called people, hey, come up, we have this free exercise and all that. So, yeah, we have about 3 or 4. I think it's okay, rather than 0.
Yep.
So they came. Some of them live quite far, but they just took Grab and just to have that opportunity to just sweat it out, And yeah, that's me in Melbourne doing the rowing. So I'm just saying that we can do it, I mean, like you can do rowing, it's not a problem. And then the fun run or whatever. And we also had the carnival, inclusive carnival. Yeah. So we allow able-bodied to actually, that's a goal ball. If you can see the one in the middle, that's goal ball. And that's wheelchair tennis and sitting volleyball, which we encourage people with disabilities to actually play. And I was hoping, my aspiration, I'm hoping that from the wheelchair tennis, we will try to include more inclusive sports, meaning it's not exclusive for people with disabilities. Anyone that can just sit in a wheelchair or any of the adapted equipment can just enjoy the game. So we try to get in blind football, just blindfold them and all that.
That once.
Yeah.
You have to ring the ball, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we try to make tandem, because in UM there's so many abandoned bicycles. We could actually just cut it, make it tandem, and then a tandem bike, and yeah, people can just, exercise together. So these are the things that we're trying to do, and hopefully can get attention from KBS or anyone to actually to make it nationwide. I mean, try to get more and more people with disabilities to actually participate or to be part of the community, not to segregate them, not to make it exclusive, So
it's interesting because we've been talking about how do we make things inclusive for everyone since this morning, talking about policy and such. But I think we have a real ground explanation. Whatever that we have done, this is what, it just takes one person to do this. And imagine if all of us can actually do this, include this kind of activity in school maybe, or school teachers, just to get an idea. And I'm pretty sure after this, you can always keep in touch with your Highness if you have any other, I'm sure you will welcome me, right? Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically what I'm going to share. It's just that even like for my research, what I did, my intervention was again about the grassroots level, because the thing is that for people with spinal cord injury, they have so many barriers why they are not participating in exercise because of their condition, right? And then they have to travel, to go to the gym or to go to the pool, and because of that they become sedentary, and they just stay at home, and you lose your functionality and all that. So what I'm trying to do, my focus is not trying to make them fit. We're not trying to make them fit to be an elite athlete, but they could definitely benefit by being active, So you're restoring your functionality and all that. So for my research, what I did was I've created a program which is called Add to Life. Add to Life is an acronym for adapted activity of daily living exercises. So Add to Lives, I thought it was a bit catchy, you do exercise, you add more lives, So basically it's like an aerobic, sitting aerobic, where I use daily living movement and make it into like an aerobic, like it's 40 minutes and yeah, and then it has its level from easy, intermediate to a more advanced level and all that. And yeah, so yeah, that's what I did for my research. So I think I'm tuned in towards that. Mass, into the inclusive physical activity and sport, mass participation, and yeah, maybe who knows, from there you develop their interest that they might be an elite athlete after that. We never know, right? But we have to start somewhere.
Yes.
And this is some of the little things that I think I'll contribute, and hopefully more people would just come in and join this mission.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, right.
That's a very, very, I think it's very clear cut on what she does. And for me, I feel very inspired because I mean, UM is very close to the heart. I even know where's the court is. I've been in UM for 4 years, and I live in Seven College, where there's a lot of, it's a college accommodating, disability students. And these people, we do play sports with them. They are very enthusiastic. They have the passion to be there.
Yeah.
And I do agree, like what Johannes mentioned earlier, that people with disability, we should not, think of them as being someone else. We just include them together. And I also feel that a lot of people out there, they don't really know what does the needs and from the disability group of people, and it's good to have you here. A lot of people can relate as well, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Thank you very much, Johannes.
No problem. Okay.
I'm pretty sure after this we have a lot more questions coming.
Okay.
Right. For our next session, we have Leong Man Yi. Can I check if Man Yi is on the screen with me right now? Oh, you can just hold the mic.
Okay.
Trust me. Nanti ada banyak lagi soalan.
Okay.
Jangan rehat lagi. Is Mani here?
Hi.
Hi Mani. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Alright, so we're trying to set up our screen right now because we cannot see you on the screen. Just give it a moment.
Okay.
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. Yeah, a bit nervous.
Nervous? No such thing. We were talking yesterday. I was chatting with her before we had our session, just to get to know her better. And I always feel like, it feels a thing when I heard athletes come and tell me I'm nervous, and I was like, babe, you guys are at the international level ever. Okay, so Sharon said she have a lot of things to explain on the nervous feeling, right? Okay, so I just really can't wait to hear to Man Yi, and she's actually qualified for Olympic this year as well. I know that Man Yi is so famous that I don't think so she need a lot of introduction, but let me just introduce her in case some of you might miss her out, right? Leong Man Yi recently created history when she won a silver medal at the World Championship with her diving partner, Pandalela Rino, in women's 10-meter platform synchronized, right? This was also her ticket to Tokyo Olympics, which made Man Yi the only Malaysian athletes to ever make it to 5 Olympic Games. Man, even to go for one, I think it's not easy, and she's been there for 5 times. Oh my God. And she also competed in 5 Asian Games, winning her 2 silver medal and 5 bronze medal. She also won 1 silver and 2 bronze medal throughout 6 Commonwealth Games she participated in. She is also the only Malaysian to have participated in 11 SEA Games and won 17 golds, 5 silver and 5 bronze medals. At this rate, I might just want to ask, are you human? Right? Because she sounds so inhuman to me. Do we have her with us yet?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear.
But we cannot see you. All right. Should we? Do you have slides prepared for us today? Or visual aid or something?
I have some pictures.
You have some pictures that you want to show, I see. We're still setting it up here. How is it taking, yeah? Let me just communicate with the tech team. Well, I really want to have Man Yi on screen with us. So Man Yi, if you can bear with us, right, we see your slides, we cannot see your face. I'm not so sure if our screen only can show slides, I think it's something of a Zoom call kind of like capability. Yeah, I think we should just continue. Mandy, if you're comfortable to start, is that okay?
Yes.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's okay.
The stage is yours. So for today, our topic is untold stories. So we just want to listen. We want to hear more. And how did you do that? I mean, fifth Olympic Games. It was insane, right? If you can share with us, the stage is yours. Please continue.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Leong Man Yi, and I'm a Malaysian national diver. And I have been diving for 26 years. And
Okay.
I have been in 4 Olympic Games, and Tokyo Olympics next year will be my 5th Olympic Games.
Wow, that's great. Yeah,
Uh,
keep,
I started I started diving at the age of 10. My parents really like sports, and when I was young, they will let me try like all kind of sports. And I actually started swimming first. I started swimming around 7, and I switched to diving at the age of 10. At that time, there was a China coach came to DBI in Ipoh to select for the 1998 Commonwealth Games. And my parents just brought me for the tryouts, and I was lucky to be selected.
Okay.
Mani, are you still there?
Yes. I'm
You.
sorry that the line isn't so well because it's raining here.
Yeah, it is also raining here, cats and dogs kind of thing. Okay, please continue. Well, I was like, it's a reflex. I was holding my ear. I was thinking that I have earpiece, but actually I don't have. All right, Mandy, do we still have you there?
Yeah.
Please, yeah, just keep continuing. Yeah.
Okay. The biggest sacrifice for me, I think, will be the time, because I came down to KL at the age of 10. And at that time, actually, it was quite difficult for me because I need to learn to be independent, and I need to stay without my parents. And I only have my teammates and my coaches with me. At that time, it was a bit tough for me. Yeah. And then uh, when other kids, they get to hang around, I don't have that time. And during holidays, I cannot spend time with my family. And during Chinese New Year, sometimes I have competition and I'll be in overseas. And I think that will be the biggest sacrifice, that I didn't get to grow up with my parents. But I am also very thankful because I have friends and teammates and coaches and a lot of supportive friends with me here.
I
Thanks for
understand that
sharing.
right now. Are you still studying or have you finished your study?
Right now, I am still studying. I am doing my master's in corporate communication in University Putra, Malaysia.
Oh, I mean, doing master while at the same time competing for high level sports. How do you actually juggle with your roles? How do you do it? You know?
Actually, time management. I think time management is very important for an athlete.
And how do you manage your time? Maybe you can share with us your schedule or something.
Okay, on an average day, I start training at 8 in the morning to 12, and I get to rest for a while. And the afternoon session will be at 3 to 7 in the evening. And if I have classes, I will leave slightly early. I will leave at 5:30, and my classes will be at 6 to 9 at night. So basically, the whole day will be very, very packed, and I need to manage my time properly, and I need to get proper rest in between. Time management basically is very important. Yeah. And
Wow.
also, previously for my degree, I took a longer time to finish my degree. I took about 10 years to finish my degree because of the constant traveling and I have a lot of competitions overseas, which I took a longer time to finish my degree, and that is also a sacrifice. Yeah, also a sacrifice.
Interesting. I mean, um, It took me, I think, 4 years to finish my degree, and I don't really actually wake up 8 a.m. in the morning. And she wake up 8 a.m. in the morning every day to start her day. And it took her,
No, actually, I wake up at 7 and I start training at
yeah,
8 a.m.
time earlier than that. And that is the biggest sacrifice that she did. And I don't even know if, even if we are the, I mean, normal human beings, we want to do that. But she actually do that in the name of passion and also for the nation as well. So Mani, you know, how did you get started? I mean, if someone today who are younger want to get started, how do they get started? What kind of advice would you want to give to them to encourage them to go further in this diving activity?
I think for young girls who would like to start sports, I think parents play an important role. Parents can maybe bring their kids to try out a few sports first and see which sport that they like most and which sport do they have the talent in it. Like previously, I started in swimming first, but I discovered that I did better in diving, so I continued in diving. And also, maybe they can start from school. They can join sports in school first and start competing in MSS, Majlis Sukan Sekolah-Sekolah. And they can also join some clubs, which they can use their free time to do something more meaningful and something more healthy.
I see. Interesting because I think we had 10 speakers today and we already have 8 of them, sharing their story with us. Each and every one of them stress on the importance of having support and, good support from their parents. And I think this is a privilege. Whatever that we have here today is the ideal society that we want to have, we want to be, right? But this is not something I would say fortunate for our friends out there. There might be people who want to be involved in diving, but just couldn't be there. But I think it's okay. We need to start have the communication up and bring more parents to come to Women in Symposium so that we listen more and understand why is it important that parents' involvement is very important to nurture the talent, right? So Mani, do you have maybe interesting experience about competing in Olympics? How do you feel? We would love to know more. I mean 4 times. I mean, this is the 5th time qualifying for Olympics. What do you see there that makes you feel more pumped up to do better?
My first Olympics was 2000 in Sydney. At that time, I was 16 years old and I was really, really nervous. I qualified in 10-meter platform, and I didn't do so well, but then it also motivates me to work harder. And my second time was in Athens in 2004, and my third was in Beijing 2008, and the fourth was in London 2012. I missed out the previous Olympics in Rio 2016, but I never gave up. I continued to train harder because my goal was to have a target and a goal to get a medal before I retire. So I'm really happy this time that I get to qualify early, and Tokyo Olympics will be my 5th Olympic Games.
Let's explain the tenacity that she have over there. Can we give her a big round of applause, guys? This is something that not something that we can do and we can listen to every day. And to have someone who qualified for Olympic speak with her, even though we cannot really see her, but we can hear her. I think it's going to motivate us. At least some of us might want to go back and start diving after this. Yeah, all right. We have a lot of swimming pool with that facility these days. Yeah. Okay, Mai. Do you have anything else? Key takeaway point or advice that you would like to share with the audience today?
Oh, okay. I'm really thankful to have very supportive friends, families, and also the support from KBS, MSN, ISN, and Malaysian Swimming Association. And I think to the girls who would like to try sports, the important thing is to be hardworking, to be disciplined, and you must have a target, dedicated to the target, and never ever give up in facing any difficulties. Because in sports, surely we will have injuries, we will face a lot of difficulties, but never give up when facing any difficulties.
Well, thank you, Manyi. Hardworking is a very easy word to say, but to do it, it's not easy, to come out at 7 a.m. every day. Che, I've seen a lot of people All right, thank you, Manyi. Please stay on the line with us because we're going to have a Q&A session.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, just please hang in there, yeah? All right, for our third speaker today, I bring you someone, you have seen her. She's so famous as well. And I have Sharon with me right now. She's in red. Her phone casing also in red. Ong lah, banyak ong. All right. So Sharon Wee was former top Malaysian and world squash player. Her career after sport now as TV sports personality, a trainer, motivational speaker, and entrepreneur. I think she should be the moderator for today, She is a passionate leader in the Malaysian sports scene, in championing sports and women empowerment, as well as initiates youth leaderships and personal development programs. And recently, Sharon, you have been elected as Vice President of Squash Racket Association of Malaysia. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right, Sharon, so you have 20 minutes of yours, and I hope you can explain to me the nervous part, yeah? All right, stage is yours. Okay.
Thank you very much. Hello everyone, harap semua sihat. My name is Sharon Wee. Actually, I just came from another Women in Sports punya webinar in MSN. So on the way here driving, I kata, laku juga you Sharon. Moderating, speaker dan sebagainya. But I was thinking definitely, being a Malaysian woman, someone passionate about sports, about women empowerment, this is why I'm here. And
that's great.
People acknowledge me to moderate and also host programs for women and sports. A little bit about me, like just what you explained, of course, former national #1 and world #18. I've been in sports scene for many years.
Wow.
Life after sports, of course, transition as broadcaster. I'm a TV sports presenter and still now as commentator, as well as motivational speaker. So I love to share with the young ones, especially to encourage women to get involved in sports. Because again, especially women or men, sports for Malaysian is all about unity. It's a platform perpaduan untuk kita semua. Pada masa yang sama, I really feel sports for women and especially young girls like her, my junior as well as squash player. It's all about having sports that help us to grow in terms of mental and also character, as well as for us to grow in terms of emotionally, because it gives us confidence when we do sports. Tak kira lah, whether you run 10 kilometer or 1 kilometer, you feel so good as a woman because you have done something right physically and it helps your confidence as well. And I'm very proud. Baru few days ago on Sunday, I was elected as Naib President Persatuan Squash Malaysia. So go women. Yes. I want to explain a little bit about my journey today. If I may have the next slide.
Then you can just point to the middle camera. Yeah.
Okay. I would like to share merah lagi. Sebab mak kata kalau pakai merah ada ong sikit. So sorry, ada reflection dekat Datuk Wik Chala punya muka. Red and red kan? Okay. So this is my story. I'm a kampung girl from Malacca. Kampung girl from Malacca. I fall in love with squash when I was 11 years old. Being someone who loves sports, I continue to be professional squash player, as you can see that. What I want to talk about today, 3 things: passion and dream, courage, and transition. And I'll explain why the transition is very important, especially for women in sports. My career professionally as national #1 and world #18, I've represented Malaysia in 5 SEA Games, 4 Commonwealth Games, Asian Games, and many world championship, world team championship as well. And I really hope that Siva Sanggari, I'm your role model. Cakap ya, please. Yes. She said yes, so very good. Lepas ni boleh hantar dia balik lah. Kalau tak, you ambil Grab lah. Okay, okay. So I'm very proud to represent Malaysia in squash because I bring Malaysian name to all over the world. Meletakkan nama dunia di seluruh dunia. Tapi at the same time, it's never easy. Just like what Manji said, she wakes up at 7 a.m. and everything goes the same thing every single day. And this is when passion and dream helps you. Without passion and dreams, because you do things the same thing in and out every day, which I think my junior here will explain later, it can be a bit, sometimes you are in the low, you can be a bit sad. Why am I doing this when my friends go out to mama, when my friends can go party, can go holiday, but I'm here alone sometimes, doing training every single day away from family and all this. I always appreciate education. So I studied in UPM, finished my education in Bachelor of Business, and I went for my dream to be a professional squash player. So at that time, as top 2 in the country, me and Nicole went all the way to Amsterdam. Jauh tu, 13 jam naik flight kan? All the way, and being someone kampung girl, you know, from Malacca, aduh, you know, it's too far away from family. But this is all I wanted, to be the best in the world, to train there, and yeah, go for my dream. So what happened is, me and Nicole, we took care of each other lah. As you can see the photo, I look a bit younger there with Nicole. And Malaysian is all about food lah. Gambar pun aku letak food juga. Yeah. So we went there roughly about 2002, and I become the taika chair. I'll cook every day. Nicole will wash the plates, and we took turn to basuh baju, letak washing machine and everywhere. Just like what Manji said, it's all about sacrifice, being away from family because of your dream. And is it hard? It is so hard.
How old were you in that photo?
23 years old after university.
Wow.
Then I went away roughly about 10 years in Amsterdam and also in Belgium. I stopped about 2010, 10 years ago. Why I put that picture? For me to show that, you know, athletes, especially women, we have to be brave and courageous to do what we love. It could be something small, it could be something big, it doesn't matter. But if you love what you do, go for it. Even it's tough. Can you imagine, let me tell you this story. I was away, we shared an apartment. Of course, we took care of each other. We don't have anybody besides foreign friends, our mom and dad away from home. There were times when I lost a big tournament. That's when I go into my room and just cried lah, a bit, must let go. Thinking of the family who I wish were beside me. You know, my mom beside me, and I cry on her shoulder.
I feel like tearing up now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
That means my story is working.
Yeah.
Kan? So, I would like to tell everybody, please appreciate our athletes, really. And especially women, we are tough people. So we can go through this lah in whatever way. Me in sports, I'm sure you have your own personal challenges. You can do it. Yeah? It's all about passion, dream, and I said courage. And I went on, you know, to represent Malaysia for 20 years, and that's the glorious photo. And I love to inspire the kids. This is what I do as a motivational speaker as well. So the next transition, what happened actually? This is the toughest one. Life after sports. Sports ni, well, our lifetime of career is not too long. I stopped when I was 33, I was lucky. Yeah, some stopped because of injury, they stopped 25 years old, 26 years old. And if they don't have any education or any set skills, then I feel sad for them. So this is when KPM, KPT, KBS, ISN, are helping our athletes now to get education to prepare them for life after sports. And I think that's very important, not just as a career, but to develop them to be knowledgeable person,
Holistic kind of person.
Yes,
Yep.
grow emotionally, EQ-wise, and also mental-wise as well. It's not just playing the game itself, because you want to be respected as well. Yeah. So life after sports, what do I do next? Obviously, this is when I went my transition. Yeah. From sports to broadcaster to coach as well. I have level 3 international coach, which I coached in actually. That was my base for 6 years.
Wow.
So I developed junior squash development and university squash development as well. But about a few years ago, life goes on, and I went into, of course, concentrate on broadcasting and some other careers as well. Yes, that's with Nicole David. Can you imagine? My former teammate, now as a broadcaster, as a TV host, I interview her. And
What a twist.
yeah, so some other photos during Sukansi 2017. Wait, let me show again. Yeah, so I was interviewing our athletes. That is Huawei, our synchronized swimmer. And what else? Let's see here. Okay, yeah. So anyway, that's, Abang, can you tunjuk the whole thing? So easier to see, kan? Yeah. So recently, because of COVID, yeah, MCO, that's when I do a lot of webinars. And if you can see the bottom left, me and Charlene Zulkifli, our great living legend of bowling. So I contact her. I kata, hey Charlene, MCO ni, let's do something on webinar and bring up the spirit of Malaysian and share with them positive stories. So that's when we did, and the title is Nak Sembang Atau Apa Tu. So we share about our stories in sport, about courage, inspiration and hard work, especially for the young ones lah, And I did a webinar for ISN, Women in Sports, under AKK and KBS as well. I lead and Bulan Sukan Negara last year. That was my first one with WIS, and I am very committed to continue to support women in sports. And if you can see the last photo here, it's all about, develop the youth, women and Malaysian as well, so that we can rise together.
Yep.
So for me, my last word is to all women here, or even men, sports is very important. Let's do sports mainly for physical health, but the most important here is for character development and also for the health of mentally and emotionally. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
A round of applause for Sharon. I have a question to ask before we move to the next panel. When you were competing at high level on, sports, do you ever feel fear for what future awaits for you? Because you know that this sooner or later you still have to retire, and it's not like normal retirement where you work in a company and you can retire at 55 years old, or 60 now. So do you ever feel fear, and how do you actually cover that up, and how do you get there?
To be frank, when I was playing in professional circuit, representing Malaysia, obviously fear looking at life after sports wasn't in my mind much, because I was so focused,
I see.
winning and giving my best. But again, yes, it has to come a day that you need to prepare. That is when, I went to university, I took certification of coaching, level 1, 2, 3, even before I retire in 2010. To all athletes, actually now I'm a senior, right? Even to Sanggari, education is very important. While you are playing, at the same time, improve your skills and also networking. That's why I wrote an article in Stadium Astro called Help, Who Am I After Sports? So I gave 8 tips actually to athletes, even to parents, even to coaches, to guide the athletes using that 8 points so that they can prepare their career and life after sports. Because athletes are someone that being looked at as role model for Malaysians, And we don't want that to stop, because even if life after sports, we want to look at them as someone, even me now.
Living legend.
Correct, living legend.
Yes, yep, you're right. For me, I always have the kind of curiosity, because I always think that, for normal people like me, we kind of like have a benchmark on how the life should be, and if there's any changes that happen, we can always pivot, think our ways out, because we don't really have that kind of focus where you associate yourself so deeply with something. Like for both of you are squash athletes. Of course, you always, I'm a squash player. Whenever I go, this is my brand, and I cannot live without it. Hence why I asked you the question earlier. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce to you guys our final speaker and the youngest that we have for today. We have Siva Sangari Subramaniam. Like Sharon's been mentioned, she is actually a squash player as well, junior in fact. She's no longer junior now, she's a Malaysian professional squash player. She won gold medal for individual and double event in SEA Games 2017, and later in 2018, she won silver and bronze medal for Asian Games. As of May 2018, she was ranked 38 in the world, and she is only, 22 years old? 21 years old. 21 years old, right? Just like macam legal age for a lot of things, and already 38 in the world. Where are we? Okay, all right. She became 2018 British Junior Open champion by defeating Satomi Watanabe. Wow, okay. And whenever I, meet someone, we are beating someone not from local, I feel very proud. Congratulations. And on July 2018, she became the youngest woman national champion, defeating Lo Wee-Wen in the final Ohana 34th National Squash Championship. Congratulations, right? And right now, Sangari is based in US, right? Yep. So we just want to know more about you and hear more about you, because we already listened to someone who already retired, and look at the world in a very different perspective, And for Siva Sangari, who already there, going to be there soon, what's your take on this? Please share your experience.
So my name is Siva Sangari Subramaniam. I'm 21 years old, and I'm from Kedah. And at the age of 15, I shifted to KL with my family because I studied in College Tunku Jafar International School in Mantin. And that was definitely a life-changing moment for me, because staying in Kedah, like a small town, and shifting to KL, which is like,
more vibrant,
very
big culture
different.
shock kind of thing.
So it was definitely good experience for me, a good learning process, because I was still very young at that age. So I got a brother with me. The first sport I picked up was golf at the age of 5. I went with my brother because my father definitely loves golf. So I went with him, I tried golf, and then I tried badminton, swimming, taekwondo as well. And then at the age of 7, I joined squash, and I went to squash court, and then they had this TID program, which is the talent identification program, where coaches look out for young, talented kids. So that's how I got involved in squash, and yes, so yeah.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so that's her background story. So we want to know, right now you're a student, right? So while still training, what's your schedule look like? Do you wake up at 7 a.m. as well?
So I decided, like, after I finished my O-levels, I took a gap year, deciding whether or not to do it professionally or get my education, like do both. So definitely it was a tough decision for me, talking to my parents, my brother as well. And they all definitely wanted me to study and get an education and basically do both. But personally, it's definitely tough for me to juggle both, which they don't understand what we are going through as an athlete and a student. But I always tell myself, I've been doing it since 7. I've been in primary school, I've been in secondary school. So why not I just get a degree and play squash as well. So I decided to pursue my degree in Cornell University, and I'm majoring in communication. It's my 3rd year right now, and I've got another year. The program is 4 years, so I think so far it's definitely been tough for me handling both, especially being so far away from my family. Like, it's the other side of the world. And the first year was very emotional for me. I definitely had times where I felt like giving up, but like as I said, everything is a learning process, and I'm glad that now I'm stronger. And yeah, like my daily routine, like what my niece said, she wakes up, she goes for training. For me, I wake up, I go for classes, and then I go for training. Then I have my lunch break or whatever, and then go for training again. And then I study at night, which is a daily routine. And I see my friends only studying and then going out with like just enjoying their social life. And that's one of the biggest sacrifices I've made. I definitely miss my youth life, like hanging out with my friends and things like that. But I want to be successful in my squash career. So I think I got to sacrifice all this in order to achieve what I want in future.
Wow. At the age of 21, yeah, talking about how she missed out youth life. You're still young, my dear. Don't worry. Youth definition is definitely until 29, the last time I checked. So you still don't miss out much. Don't worry. Still, 21 years old, baru boleh start buat macam-macam. Oh, don't. Okay. So, since you're in US, there are times that you're always far from family, you have the lowest point, you went through the lowest point of your life. How do you actually take a break from all of this? How does athletes, at this one moment of life when you're about to snap, and you're like, oh, what am I going myself into? I feel so tired. How do you get rid of that burnout? How do you keep yourself motivated and keep going?
For me, I always set a goal where I really want to get high there and achieve all I've set. Everyone has their own goals. I have my own goals. So whenever I break down, I definitely need a good support system. In the States, I definitely talk to my parents back home and my brother, but I've got really supportive friends, teammates. I have my coach with me. So I feel like when I break down, I just got to think like why I started all this, why I've came this far, and I just got to keep working hard in order to achieve what I really want to achieve in life. Like, it's not easy. Like, everyone from outside just thinks like, oh, she's studying and playing squash and things like that. But there's definitely other things as well affecting us, which people can't see. Only we go through it.
Yep.
But yeah, as I say, it's just part of life, and we just got to learn. And every day is a new day for us, for like any opportunities, So.
Wow, she embraced that. It sounds easy when the way she talks is like very kind of casual kind of thing, but I'm pretty sure deep inside is a very kind of like hurting inside. Yeah, Sharon, please.
I would like to add something from what Sangari said. When you love what you do, even if when you're away at the corner of that room crying, you want to snap.
Yeah.
But then for me, this dream is not just my dream. My parents woke up so early to cook breakfast for me when I was 11, that young girl, and now this young girl, 20 over years old, going all out for Malaysia. It's not just about me, it's about my coach, my parents, my friends, my teammates, KBS, ISN, Malaysia, just name it. MSN, who worked so hard, to fund the athletes and take care of us. So for me, if I want to give up, I was thinking it's very selfish to just give up, because the dream is not just my dream, it's everybody's dream. It's the support system.
Wow, Sharon, I really have to give a big clap for this answer. You have a way to make me tear up, man. I was about to cry. It's athletes being athletes, right? Whatever people see is your achievement on paper. When you do well, people praise you a lot. the moment you flop, oh lama, I can see it. The haters also a lot, equally a lot, right? So, Sangri, you are at this age, right? Do you think that you have achieved enough, or you still have a long way to go? What do you think?
I definitely think I still have a long way to go. Like for me, after I get a degree, I will still want to go professional. I want to do, I just want to play squash until I really can't anymore. And I want to be at the top. That's my dream, that's my goal. And yeah, for me, you have to love what you're doing, like what Sharon said. If you're doing it, if someone's forcing you to do it, then there's just no point because you won't like it. So for me, I love squash. I don't mind waking up at 6 or 7 just to train because I just want to go far and achieve everything. Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. That's a very, can you imagine the tenacity that they are having, the grit that they want to for the nation. I mean, they always have Malaysia, at the back of their mind, whatever that they do. And here we are sitting, wondering if we already, what's our dinner? Okay, so thank you very much, Sangari. We're going to move to our Q&A session. If I can have Johannes with me. Is she around? Johannes? Hi, Manyi. Oh, that's a nice background. You can see us clearly here?
Yes, I can see all of you clearly.
Are you having training?
I have training later, so I'll go in straight to training later.
Oh, okay. We're going to make it quick, fast, and crisp for you. Johannes is not here? All right, so it's okay. We can, while waiting for her, we organized this on 2 different platforms. We are in Rekascape, Cyberjaya, and we also have Zoom call. If any of the audience would like to come out with a question from the floor, or you can just drop in the chat box from those in the Zoom. Anybody on the floor want to ask anything? Yes, please. Can we have microphone for our ladies over there? Please introduce your name and if you want to direct the questions to any of the athletes.
Hi, my name is Zuleika. I'm from Malaysian Longballs Federation. And my question is for Sharon Wee. What is your biggest challenge to achieve the success that you have now, considering that you are a multi-talented woman icon, which is a former athlete, coach, TV sports commentator, motivational speaker, and congratulations for being the new vice president. So thank you. That's my question.
Thanks for the question. Wow, a strong one. When you read the explanation about my role, I was thinking my journey in life is all about sports, yeah? Squash player, broadcaster in sports, now vice president of SRAM. One of the challenges for me, of course, it's my own expectation. All this while, since a schoolgirl, I've always wanted to do my best. And I think it's just in me, if anything, that a little bit lower than my best, I feel very sad. And sometimes I beat myself too much. Mm-hmm. So again, I think to everybody, especially the women, let's just do our very best in whatever we do. And there are times, yes, it's not up to the expectation, but please still feel very proud of ourselves. As long as you know you are doing your very, very best, then you can sleep well and wake up with a smile.
Wow. All right. Are you happy with the answer? She's nodding, so she's happy with the answer. Any other question from the floor or maybe from our Zoom call? No, this is not the, it's not easy, even we have money online, it's not easy to actually pull her out from her training schedule. She wake up at 7 a.m. for training today, and we are holding her up here. So I appreciate if you can use this opportunity to, engage with our audience. So we have questions. All right. Thank you. All right. So for Manyi and Siva Sangri, the question is, what's your hope for the sports scenes in Malaysia, particularly for women? Maybe Manyi, you would like to go first? What is your hope for this sports landscape in Malaysia?
Okay. Sports has become better compared to last time, and we have more support right now. and I really hope that more women can join sports without any limitations. And yeah, hopefully, because diving, there is not a lot of women that are willing to join, and sometimes if they want to join, they do not know how to start. So I really hope that there will be more development programs in our country, and more women can also, more young girls can also join sports and become better and better in the future.
All right, policymakers in the room. Okay, you heard her. You know what to do. Okay, so for Sangri, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, definitely like what Mani said, sports is growing, but I think parents should not be afraid to send the kids, especially girls, to play whatever they want. Like sometimes moms will be like, oh, tak payah keluar rumah, this and that. So I think that's how they start sports. So like I think you guys should let them go and like enjoy what they want to do, and so that like they will grow as they'll learn as they grow. And I think that's very important to develop women athletes in the country.
Interesting, because it comes to the second question that we have today from the floor. It's for Johannes, right? You know, parents' support is very important. And when it comes to athletes with disability, there's even more hundred and lots more fear, because for them, they have to think of what the future will hold for their kids. They have to worry about, let's say today my athlete is competing in Paralympic Games, and then she won't. And what happened after that? You know, I don't even know if my kids can become like Sharon Wee, be a broadcaster or competitor. I mean, you cannot have everybody in Malaysia become a broadcaster, right? So what's your take on this? What your advice that you would share with the parents out there?
I think we should live one time. Take things easy. I mean, like they are successful Paralympians that after their retirement, they actually have their own business. They become a CEO of their own brand or their movement, organization, all that. But we're thinking too far ahead, but we are actually neglecting what they could benefit at the moment. So you should live in the now, and whatever comes after that is
Yeah, I understand. The YOLO concept, you only live once.
yes, but make it a good one. I mean, like, yeah. So, I think people with disabilities, yes, they do need special care, some of them, but some of them can live independently. And for parents, I'm sure parents are quite protective of their children,
Yes.
Especially you have children with disabilities. I think if you give them the opportunity to spread their wings, you know, you'll be amazed what they can do.
All right, Johannes, hang in there. We have one more question from online, from Lee Neo Tae. This is something that actually relates. I really want to ask this question as well. I don't know if it sounds controversial, but do you think the government is giving enough support for para-athletes? What can be improved and how? Where do we stand and what can we do better?
I think recently, yes, when during the previous government, that they actually acknowledge and give the same incentive for those Paralympian that succeed in the not Paralympian, athlete with disabilities when they competed, whether it's in Commonwealth or in
SEA Games,
Paralympics
yeah.
and SEA Games, yeah. So it's good that they acknowledge and give the same incentives as compared to previous. So, but I think more effort should be put to make sure the advancement of the Paralympic sports. There's just a lot of things that needs to be considered, like coaching. You must get a proper coach or a specialized coach for the specific games. You cannot have a coach and you generalize that people with disabilities, they need are the same. Their needs are the
like
same
one coach
as
for all kind of thing.
No, you have to, depending on their disabilities. So yeah, you need a trained coach. You need also funding for them to actually for exposures, and you need funding for equipment. One thing about adapted sports, yeah, you need wheelchairs, you need all the prosthetic and all that. That is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And yeah, so probably those need to be invested upon. So yeah, I think yeah, the government, if they take things, look at this seriously, that we can actually go far. Because I think during Rio and London, I think the Paralympian actually contributed more medals than the Olympian. So I think yeah, it's about time that
We appreciate them more.
appreciate them more and
acknowledge
put more
them.
effort in the
Yeah.
advancement. It's advancement in the movement of Paralympic. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We do hope that based on our discussion this morning, also from the panelists, we do see there's a push for better representation, better visibility, and better facility. Hoping that we can see it, because within 5 to 10 years from now, changes doesn't happen overnight. You see, and this kind of discussion is good because it's going to give them idea on what they should do. They also need pointers from athletes as well. And, to go and actually reach out to each and individual athlete is not an easy thing. There's a lot of athletes in Malaysia. But to have someone to just come out and say it out loud, hey, we need this. This is something that we can do better. Right? And for Sharon, we have someone who are asking, what's your tips for the transitioning period from doing full-time sports to whatever that you're doing today? And one more thing that I'm also curious is that, do you feel lost? You've been doing sports every day. I think you guys, when it becomes to very serious athletes, there's also serious schedule, something that you really have to stick into routine. And suddenly you break that routine. How do you feel? And how do you cope being transitioning?
Wow, very good question. Being a top athlete, this is what we do day in, day out, right? That's our identity. Can you imagine you lose your identity, who you are as a person? You are lost, you go depressed, worst part, you want to take your life. And it can happen, and it has happened. So it's all about identity.
Mm-hmm.
So again, my advice to athletes, and in this case, women in sports, being an athlete, it's a journey. The preparation is extremely important, not just preparation to win a gold medal, but preparation in life. You need to grow as a person, not just an athlete, but as an individual in many ways. Mentally, physically, emotionally as well, and communication-wise, because you don't want to just be known as the best athlete, but anything besides that, you don't know anything. And we don't want that. We want people from other industry to respect the sports person.
Understand.
My advice, of course, preparation is very important. It should be ongoing. For example, like my junior here, she's studying, which is very good. Then as you go on, there are a lot of courses that you can take, maybe coaching certification. Not necessarily, I should say, a formal certification after degree, but it's about being street smart. Learn, talk to people from different industry. Your group of people, your community shouldn't be just sports people. Should be bankers, media person, should be anybody, mom, dad, so that you have a lot of knowledge in you to prepare yourself for life after sports. Because my experience is, I remember the end of 2010, I think mid of 2010, before I retire, end of 2010, I was so afraid what's going to be in my life next. Because I'm so afraid that when I wake up, nobody knows me as Sherry, the squash player. Then, who am I? Huh? Who am I? Right? You are known. I represented Malaysia for 20 years, bring up, people respect me as the great squash player, but after that, I'm nobody. So this is when I look, mencari siapa saya after that.
Deep. Mencari siapa saya. Oh, okay.
So, and you have to work hard. There's no shortcut. You have to work very hard, and as women as well, there's another cabaran, another challenges in many industry. So it's all about prepare well, be courageous, and go for it, and believe in yourself.
Thank you, Sharon. That's a very compact answer everything. And I love the point where you say street smart, because a lot of people think that we should just work hard. But there's a new term that I learned recently, and not really recent. I mean, when I jumped into corporate sector, it's all about being street smart, you know. You don't have to work 10 hours if you can produce the same result within 2 hours. It's all being street smart, you know, getting the resources right. And I'm glad that Sharon, you are really the definition of street smart woman. You know, someone wearing red looks so hot. Yeah. Mandi, I just want to know, since, you know, from your perspective, you've been an athlete for so long, right? You were competing in Olympic, and I just barely can even walk at that back then. I just macam baru nak berjalan lah. Being in that for so long, right? What's the main goal that you have on your mind when it comes to diving? What's your goal actually?
In each period of time, I set my goals, and right now, my last goal is to at least have a medal in the Olympics. Yeah, this is my final goal before I retire.
I see, and yeah, I'm pretty sure you can do it. I actually followed most of you guys' social media, so I know how hard you guys train. You know, even during MCO, I'm pretty sure no one actually rests. I think stamina is just part of it, right? You cook as part of your routine. That's great. Okay. So I have one more question from online from Rita Akha. She was asking, how do we change the perception of the parents who actually look down to their kids' participation in sports? And this includes teachers who think that, you know, when kids join sports, it's like, you know, just a way to escape from class, you know, it's just a waste of time. And any of you would like to pick this up? Because this is something that happened in reality. Whatever that we talk today is ideal, but whatever on the ground is, you know, it's always being associated like that, you know, like sports girls, sports kids. It's just another way for you to just escape from the class, right? Okay, so any of you would like to pick up the question? Johannes, want to go first?
I'm not a parent. I'm parents to many cats and kittens, yeah, but I'm not a parent. I'm parents. Yeah, I think this perception, thinking that sport doesn't actually bring food to your table and all that. And I think because our system are still so much into the exam and then the paper and all that qualification. So yeah, it's a bit tricky, but the thing is that I think things are changing now, and you can make a career by participating in sports. In some sports, even the prize money could last you a lifetime. Yeah, tennis or squash or whatever, you know. So you can make money. It's just that one thing about being sports, though, if you don't look after yourself, I'm amazed, Mani, that you've been in this sport for many years. But for those who started young, they would retire young as well due to injuries and all that. So those are the things that you just should consider and protect whatever it is, your investment, you know. But there are, like I said, you get Shalin Zulkifli. She's a successful businesswoman, you know, with a bowling alley and all that. And we also have other athletes, professional athletes who retired and they become a businesswoman or they have their own brand. So again, yes, education is very important. But nanti kena marah dengan parents ni. You should give them the opportunity actually. If they shine better in sports, then you should encourage them. If they shine. It's not about the parents. I know parents are worried about their children growing up, their future. Yeah, but it's also their future. Let them shape their own future actually. So if we try to
protect them too much,
they will break. But if you let them fly, then they will go far. So yeah, I mean, again, like I said, people will curse me, you know, but that's my opinion. I've been there. I mean, like from small, I just don't like school. Sorry. I'll get every opportunity there is to be out and to play and to you know, get myself hurt or injured or sweat or whatever. Yeah, I'll get every opportunity just to be out. Yeah, I still remember my dad would just drag me from somewhere. Say, sit, you know, like you're grounded or whatever. don't
do
like
it.
schools.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I know I do well. I do well in sports. So yeah.
Yeah. Cheryl, would you like to add something?
Yes, I think there are three challenges, of course, and this is reality. Number one, our education system. Number two, mindset. Number three, culture. Do we blame the parents for not putting their children for sports? Yes and no. Yes, because there are three things that an individual can't just change like that, right? Education system, mindset, and culture. I should say that KPM, KPT, and overall Malaysian government should look into having more sports in the curriculum, which they have now. But I guess maybe it's not enough, not just physically curriculum, but activities. And giving points and also marker to the student is not just about exam. They can be the smartest student, but tak ada street smart. You know,
Understand.
tak ada personal development and character development. So this is when it's a bigger thing where our government, Malaysian government, have to look into really seriously. If Finland have the best education but doesn't really mark their students in terms of education paperwork too much, but something else, and they work well. In Japan, when I went to Tokyo, I saw small kids, even 5 years old, are already running around. And I asked the teacher, they said, oh, this is our sports session at 5 years old. And they are doing extremely well as one of the top country economically in the world. Then who are we to say that curriculum is not good?
Yep,
Right?
understand.
And number two, mindset, where, yalah, you know, parents also, we started as a young person. Bila our parents say that it's all about education, we have to follow.
Yep.
But young parents like here, or even individual who are not parents, the day when you step up for Iris punya woman in sports, that means you are supporting sports lah. So I hope that, you know, whether it's your niece, nephew, your children, please
Yep.
support them. And number three, culture, especially for girls and women. Our culture kan tak kira lah what bangsa, Chinese, Malay, Indian and all, we are extremely protective of our girls and female. But trust us lah, yeah? Especially parents, dad, mom, trust your girl. Let them play sports and I'm very sure that they know how to take care of themselves.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
and I hope that the perception of sports culture will grow and become better and better in Malaysia.
All right. So parents out there, you've listened to our panelists. You know, just be chill parents and just get your kids sweat, right? Okay. We have one more question from Aziza Abdul Latif. This is more directed to Mandi and also Sangari. What is your opinion to be serious in sports or to be, you know, elite level sports, especially when you want to compete in international level, that require financial stability? So it's like, how do you know, competing in sports require a lot of money. So what's your take and what's your advice? Maybe Maya, you can go first.
For me, actually, in diving doesn't require a lot of money. I just did a swimsuit and a good coach, and yeah, that's all.
Guys,
But
let's do diving now.
I was very lucky because at that time, Malaysia was the host country for the Commonwealth Games in 1998, and there was a program, the Jaya 98 program, which they wanted to select divers for the program. So I was very lucky to get selected, and I didn't spend a lot of money in my sports. Yeah, and after I was in the program, I actually earned allowances from MSN. Yeah, I can get to take care of myself financially when I was 10.
Yeah, and yeah, one more thing about being sports person is a lot of ambassador, you know, can be sports ambassador as well, and you can earn money from there as well. I mean, yeah, that's a very good part of it. And Sangri, because diving is a very well established, and the association is also something that, you know, really support the athletes. How about in squash landscape? Do you need to have strong finance for you to join or pursue in squash?
Yeah, I feel all sports need like a strong financial support in order for us to travel and play international tournaments and things like that. And I personally feel Malaysia always wants the results, and when you give them the results, and then they definitely like pay more attention to you and like give
I
you more
see.
allowance and things like that. So when I was 16, I won like 8 to 9 professional squash tournaments, and I felt that was the starting point of my professional squash career, and that's when everyone like I got a little famous, you know, like
Not a little, you're famous
people
there.
kind of knew me, and like I got support from SRAM, Squash Racket Association Malaysia. MSN was giving me allowance as well, and they were funding me for tournaments internationally and things like that. So it's important that you treat the athletes well in Malaysia, and if you want something from them, I think you have to treat them well in order for them to achieve.
To them perform better as well.
Everything, yeah.
I got your point. Basically, from Mani and Sangha, you're saying is that for you to compete in high-level performance sports, you really need to be cream of the crowd. You really need to be there, perform, to earn the support from people, from the sponsorship, and stuff like that. So I guess the moment you really decide to pursue this seriously, you better take this seriously and wake up at 7 a.m. every day. Huh? Make sure you go and tell your neighbors about it as well. All right, do you have any question from the floor? Any other question before we wrap up? No? All good? All right, I'm pretty sure all of them have their social media to follow. Mani is very active. I always see her, hi guys, punya video, So I'm a big fan when I know that I'm coming here as a moderator and with all of these panelists around, I can't stop myself from fangirling. Oh my God, all right. So before we end, just this 2 sessions before this, if I can summarize our 3 main take-home points. The first one is definitely being an athlete, high-performing athlete is not easy. They have a lot of securities. Whatever that we're seeing is just the surface, and whatever that they go through and they went through is something that we ourselves cannot imagine, right? The second one is something needs to be done to promote inclusivity in sports. We still have a lot of work to do, and we are doing it right now, in fact, but we still have to do more, and we cannot be happy at what level that we are right now. And definitely the third one is for athletes, especially elite athletes who are competing, they are always think about future and beyond. So definitely education is really important in whatever you do. And this is something that not only important for athletes, education is not a privilege, it's a must for everyone and every single person in Malaysia. All right, before we end the session, I would like to call upon Dr. Sherry to come on front to present our appreciation to our speakers. All right, okay, let's stand up. Okay, Mani, sorry because you're not here with us. If you're around, we'll definitely give you one back, okay? All right, can start dengan Yohanis dulu. All right, and also photo session, group photo session. All right. Thank you so much to all our speakers. You can have a seat. We're about to conclude our event. And thank you very much to all our audience who have been with here since the morning in Rekascape. And thank you for those who tune in Zoom call, about hundreds of them all over the world. We come to a conclusion of the event, right? We started this event by recalling how women and sports are 2 opposite terms. We brought in wrestlers, pro wrestlers, talk about how does this stereotype happen in Malaysia, what happened on the ground, what we should do. We were made to believe, before this, perhaps because of the culture, that sports is for men and women cannot take tough challenges or anything physical. But today, right, specifically today, with all these 10 speakers, including 4 of them who are joining us now, we have seen all this myth broken and shattered. we have break the barrier, you know. These people are the ones who paved the way, and we are the ones who have to make sure that our generation to come will continue taking the path, right, and make it even wider and accessible to each and every one of us. So we wish that these women continue to inspire us and that their passion will pave the way for many generations to come. Thank you very much. With that, I conclude the Women in Sports Symposium. Thank you for joining us today. Hope that I'll see you guys soon somewhere in Malaysia. Thank you very much. Bye.